Really wanted to send out our two seniors, Colin and Tyson, on a better note than this, but there's a couple things that we didn't do. First and foremost, we gave them a 16-4 lead, and when you're struggling like we are and playing quality ball clubs in the SEC, you just can't spot somebody that many points. And then there was a big run there, turnaround. I think we were up 8 points with about 14 minutes left in the ball game, and then just at about 9:31. They turned around to a 7-point deficit in that short amount of time. So I thought those were the crucial time spans, the beginning of the game and that run right there, that really cost us. And then if you look at the first half, I think they had 13 points, off of second chance points, and then 10 points off of turnovers. And our number one thing when we played South Carolina was like, one, we got to rebound the basketball. Can't give up offensive rebounds. And then two, not turning the ball over and giving them some points in transition. So we just didn't take care of those things in the first half. And I thought Fred Thomas did a great job defensively. We had him on Brenton Williams in the first half, and then we switched him to Sendarius Thornwell. And so Brenton didn't score in the first half, and then without Fred on him in the second half, he goes off and he shuts down Sendarius Thornwell. So somebody else on the court has got to be able to defend somebody besides Fred Thomas.
Questions?
Rick, Chicken was in here, and he looked like someone just kicked him in the gut, and he said, we're trying our hardest, but we can't get a victory. How do you get someone, or how do you get the team to bounce back and still try, and well, even though the results aren't there?
Well, I think it's a sustained effort. I mean, I think what we're doing right now is like we're not having sustained effort as far as like what we're trying to do. And it's not just like effort, physical effort, but it's mental too. Like, like it's a situation where Brenton Williams, who's the leading free throw shooter in the nation, misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and none of our guys are mentally locked in knowing it's a 1-and-1. So he gets the offensive rebound off a free throw. And then the very next possession, we miss a free throw. Carrera gets a rebound. We got two people around him. We don't foul Carrera, and they throw the ball to Brenton Williams, and we foul Brenton Williams. Those are the type of mental breaks down that you can't have. And I don't want to harp on this, but it goes back to the part of us not being a sustained effort physically and mentally. It's just not having the bodies. That everybody is so much bigger and stronger than us on the front line.
Is that it?
Coach, you talked to Chicken about kind of the first time in a while that you've had those momentum streaks though on the offensive end, and like you preach all the time, most of it was because of them feeding off a defensive effort. I know you got a lot of turnovers during that stretch. I mean, I know you want to win, but talk about those runs where you were feeding off the defensive pressure.
Well, I thought we got back in it on that. When we were down 16-4, we went to our 1-3-1. I thought we were able to knock some balls loose in our 1-3-1 defense and then go down and score on that. But then what happened was we went back to man because we started to get picked apart a little bit in the 1-3-1. And once we went to our man, we were in a gambling mode. A 1-3-1 defense is really a gambling pressure defense. And so now when you go back to a man-to-man, I thought we were still gambling in our man-to-man, and we just needed to be solid. So that was something we addressed at halftime. And then that second run there, what you're talking about, like we scored defense in the offense, and I think you're exactly right. But now what happens when you're not getting those steals, you're not able to run out, you got to have some offense on the other end. And I thought Gavin, when he got the ball on the side, he just rushed it. He's so worried about the secondary defender. What he needs to do is just take his time and understand and go up and finish. But we got to have a primary guy, a go-to guy, when things start going bad for us and we're just playing half-court offense.
Since the Arkansas game, Fred didn't play. Obviously, he's bounced back with his best basketball of the season. Talk about just being able to do that with guys more next year, being able to kind of let them learn and watch and come back.
Yeah, it really shows some maturity on Fred's part. Fred could have taken that game where he didn't play and just put his head down and just accepted it and didn't get better. But what he did was he accepted it and took it upon himself to get a sustained effort, and it's really helped Fred Thomas out. And I'll say this, and I told our guys this, when we play Vanderbilt, I guess that we're playing Vanderbilt. We play Vanderbilt, we play that game on Wednesday night. We can't go take that game, hey, just end the season. To me, how we play on Wednesday night is a direct indication of how things will be for us next season, because a lot of these guys will be coming back. We can't rely on guys just coming in to be the people that's going to be better than the guys we got coming back. So to me, it's a direct indication of how you play on Wednesday night, of how your season will go next season.
Rick, most of it actually came from us, but in November we were saying, it can't get any worse, it can't get any worse, and it's a possibility of a 14-game losing streak more than last year. What's happened? What kind of happened to lead to that?
Well, we're not very good. I mean, it's just as simple as that. I mean, you can't sit there, what's Bill Parcells said, you are what your record says you are, and right now we're just not very good. So we got to find a way to push through and get a win.
Were there stretches, especially when you came out of the locker room, Rick, where everybody was kind of playing 5 for 1, and I don't want to say team chemistry, but team cohesion was about as high as it has been in a while, and guys were communicating and kind of acted like they were taking practice to the games?
Well, I don't know that for sure, because I think at times, when we started off against Georgia, I thought we got off to a great start, and our guys were really giving a collective effort on the defensive end and sharing the basketball on the offensive end. And I thought in stretches of this game, especially the start of the second half, our guys did a great job of individual defense, but when our individual defense broke down, I thought we did a good job of rotating down and doing some of the things that we needed to do to be successful on the defensive end. So it was a great stretch, but I don't know if it's a situation where I thought it was our best basketball, but I think we've had stretches where we've been pretty good.
How do you keep the guys, I guess, listening and not only listening but trying to do what you're saying when, as you were talking about, the results haven't been there so far?
Well, I don't want to simplify this. Either you got good kids or you don't. If you got good kids, they'll continue to stay the course and listen to you and give a sustained effort. If you don't, then those guys will tune you out and move on to someplace else as far as what they're listening to, outside influences and things like that. And I tend to think that we got some really good kids on the team. It just boils down to the fact that we just don't have enough bodies. When somebody's not giving a sustained effort, either physically or mentally, they should be able to come out, and get a rest on the bench or sit down and talk about it with an assistant, or maybe be there for an extended amount of time. But then we always have to bring them back quickly. We always have to bring them back quickly, and it's relying on their shoulders right away, and that's a lot to ask.
Did this one seem a little different? You said it had an 11-0 run. It seemed like everything was finally kind of going well for you guys, and then a guy just goes off. And to the players, it seemed a little different. They seemed a little bit more down than usual. To you, from your perspective, how did it kind of play out?
Oh, I think they're a little bit more down than usual because it's the final game of the season, regular season. I think that has more to do with in this specific game. But you're talking about Brendan Williams. We have terminology of being a start and stay guy. So a start and stay guy means you don't leave him on any sort of ball side penetration. So the fact that he got off 14 threes means that we weren't locked into our scouting report.
Fred and Craig both came in here and said that they felt like Williams was taking contested shots and just kind of making them, and they were a little bit heartbreaking. Did you see some of those 14 threes and was like, wow, I'm okay with him taking that?
No, I didn't see that. I mean, I think they were uncontested threes, but my point is, again, man, he's not supposed to be able to take those threes if we're doing our job.
Okay.